What is up, YouTube? Pink Reaper here, with just a quick video, a quick Pokemon video, just to sort of show off the team that I've been using recently. And kind of say, sorry I haven't really uploaded anything Pokemon, you know, since the beginning of the month. Mostly because I've just only really been playing Pokemon on stream. I have not really been playing it too much in my own time. But I kind of changed that recently. I decided I was going to make sort of like a ladder team almost, like an actual legit laddering team, rather than some sort of random gimmick team. And I guess this video is really just to show it off. So we start out here. This team is worrisome to me for one reason, and it's Thundurus. I don't have a really good switch into Thundurus unless it has Focus Blast. It doesn't have Focus Blast, in which case Ferrothorn straight up hard counters it. But he's got Thundurus and Landorus, and Landorus is another Pokemon I don't really have too good of a switch into. He can kind of like 2-hit KO pretty much everything on my team, so I have to be really careful to play around these two Pokemon. Likewise, he has Mega Pinsir, which just, oh my god, I hate that Pokemon so much. But if I can get rocks up, it's not a big deal, because I do have Ferrothorn. At worst, he'd have to return, you know, run into my Iron Barbs and my Rocky Helmet, take a lot of damage. If he tries to set up on me, I can just Gyro Ball him, so there's that. Azumarill, not a huge threat. I have Rotom, I have Gengar with Poison Attack, I have Scizor, I have Ferrothorn, whose name I just forgot right there, like, not a big deal. Wobbuffet is really weird to me. I didn't really think about why he might have Wobbuffet on his team. The main thing I thought was probably he's trying to Encore something to give Mega Pinsir a chance to set up. But yeah, Thundurus is definitely the biggest threat on his team. I had actually just played someone else with a Thundurus the game before, and I had to do a lot of work to play around it. I still ended up losing just because of some really annoying Thunder Wave paralysis hacks. I got like paralyzed 3 turns in a row, so I ended up losing. But even then, I was like, I think even if that hadn't happened, I was still at such a huge disadvantage just because of the Thundurus that I probably still would have lost. But anyway, I lead out with my my Rotom Wash, and he leads out with Thundurus, which is actually really good for me because even though Thundurus could, in theory, just like destroy this Rotom is not running a lot of bulk. It's actually max HP, max speed, which is really weird. I know. Whatever. Sorry. It's just what I do. With Choice Scarf, Volt Switch, Hydro Pump, Will-O-Wisp, and Trick, which is a really weird set. I know. Whatever. It's been working really well for me though. The only thing I need to worry about right here is if he taunts, because otherwise I'm faster than him and I can get the Life Orb off of it, and that's all I need. I need it to not have its Life Orb. So now with Choice Scarf, it puts me at a way better advantage here. It allows me to throw out Ferrothorn, and he can't do anything to it. Like, look at that. Unlife Orb Thunderbolt, 17%. Who even cares about that? That's 0 damage. Now, I had 2 options here. I was thinking he was going to go to Heatran. Which meant my best bet was just to throw out Stealth Rocks and have him out. But the other thing was I was worried he might go out to something like Mega Pinsir or Landorus. And I was highly considering just clicking Leech Seed and just getting some health back. But I really need those Stealth Rocks up. I need Stealth Rocks up for Thundurus specifically. I need Stealth Rocks up in case he doesn't bring in Pinsir. But unfortunately, he does bring in Pinsir, which is probably his best bet here, because otherwise he's not really going to have a good chance to bring it in. So he goes for the Swords Dance. I just Gyro Ball. I'm like, I can't risk this thing. If it had just gone for return, it probably would have done like 50-ish%. I mean, this is the only difference here is how much damage I'm going to take on this hit. If he hadn't set up, he would have been about at the same amount of HP. No, I take that back. He actually would have died if he didn't set up, because he would have had to attack me twice. Duh. and it would have just outright killed his pincer. So that was actually the right choice. So I just bring in Mega Scissor. His quick attack is a lot less than I would have expected. I was expecting more like 60 to 70% off a +2 pincer. I'm not even running max HP. I'm running like I don't know. I put a certain amount into my speed to outspeed 8 speed. I said speed so many times there. To outrun 8 speed Heatrans. That way, if I have like if I get a turn to set up on something, like say I had gotten a free turn on, you know, one of his Pokemon to set up a Swords Dance, and then he switches in a Heatran on knockoff, I will be fast enough then to knock off 2-hit KO. That's literally the reason I'm doing it, is for Heatran. In comes the Heatran. Now, I actually could have just gone for the knockoff here, because I knew for a fact he was going to go for Stealth Rocks. There was no point in going for anything else this early in the game for him. But I went ahead and just... the knockoff might have even been able to 2-hit KO, but... or at least would have been able to see if I was faster than it or not. But I just go into Rotom. Life Orb Hydro Pump it does 60%. So obviously, I mean, that Heatran's gone. He doesn't even bother switching out. Probably because he doesn't... I was thinking he probably doesn't have a good switch into it, since his... I was thinking at the time this was Assault Vest Azumarill. In comes Lando. I just sort of have to sack to it. Now, I have a good check in Azumarill, since I can survive even if he throws out like a Life Orb Poison attack. And obviously Aqua Jet would have done a lot of damage. It might have even KO'd it, but I was expecting a switch possibly to Wobbuffet, which he didn't make. He ended up just going for the attack, so that's kind of a bummer, because it means my Azumarill's not really going to do much more out after this. I go for the Aqua Jet on Thundurus. It does not do nearly as much as I was hoping. Only doing 36%. I was really hoping it would show more damage than that, because if it did more damage than that, that would mean I could just Bullet Punch right here and I wouldn't even have to worry. Because Scissors resisted Bullet Punch is only 15 base power, weaker than a Stab Aqua Jet, so I think... I mean, my Mega Scissors are obviously a little bit weaker than Adamant Huge Power Azumarill, but again, like I was saying, if it had done like 40%, if it had done like 41%, something like that, I probably would have been okay just going straight for the Bullet Punch right there. But because it doesn't have Life Orb anymore, I managed to survive on its Thunderbolt, which let me roost back up to full health, and I just knock off on Wobbuffet here. I was afraid it might counter right there, but I figured he probably wouldn't go for it just because he knew I had Roost. I could stall him out right there. I could mind game him a little bit right there. He does go for the Encore on my knockoff, but it does, you know, it does 60%. And obviously the next knockoff is going to do, you know, enough to KO it at that point. So in comes Azu now. There's only one thing that I had to worry about here, and this is if it was Belly Drum Max Speed Azumarill, because at that point I'm kind of screwed. Not really, like I still have an option, but it would have given me a percent chance to lose, basically. Because if it's faster than me, what's going to end up happening right here is he's going to Belly Drum. He's going to drop down to, you know, 38%. He's going to get 25 of that back. It's going to put him up to, you know, just over 60. My knockoff is going to do not that much damage if that's the case. It's going to do like 15% probably. So he'll be at around 50% at the end of all of this. But I am faster than him, so he Belly Drums. He drops down to 17% HP. He's obviously slower than me, so I can just switch out here for free to get the Encore off. I go for the Salamence switch just to... Salamence's name is too long. I named my Salamence No One's Cool Enough to Be Men's. I figured that was probably not. No One's Cool Enough to Salamence. I'm okay with that too. So obviously with him being slower than me, I can just switch in for free right here and Bullet Punch, and it'll one-hit KO it at this range. Honestly, Bullet Punch against a non-max HP Azu will do, from a Mega Scissor, will do a lot of damage. It'll do like 40-ish, 50%. The reason I said I had to be worried if it was like max speed or something like that is because he still would have had to go to Aqua Jet, like because if he was at 50%, he would have had to worry about Bullet Punch KOing him. Aqua Jet at +5, I don't think actually one-hit KO Scissor. It's close. It might even be a damage roll, but I don't think it actually straight up one-hit KOs it. Just because Mega Scissor has like the massive bulk on its defense. It has 140 base defense, so at 100%, I think it's sort of like a damage roll. It can survive it. It might not even be a damage roll, honestly. It might just straight up survive. But if I get crit, that's it. I lost. Like I had nothing at that point. But I am obviously, like I said, I was faster than it. So it didn't get the Citrus Berry recovery. It obviously is going to it's not going to outspeed me with Aqua Jet, so it's just dead. And with Stealth Rocks up, Lando's coming back at 17% or something like that. I don't remember how much HP Lando still had. But the other thing is, for anyone wondering why I kept Gengar in the back, was specifically because if this was best Azu, it's better to have that than Mence. And also, I was pretty certain that... Oh, it was at 38%. So yeah, it would have been at 13% coming in 14%. I definitely could have KO'd it with Bullet Punch. But I was keeping Gengar in the back because I was pretty certain that an unboosted Thundurus Thunderbolt would not one-hit KO my Gengar. So if even in the worst case scenario, I somehow don't one-hit KO Thundurus with Bullet Punch, and he gets a crit Paralysis Thunderbolt on me, and then I get full paralyzed, I was still pretty confident that I could, win in that case. But anyways, yeah, that's my full team. For those wondering, because they didn't really get to come out or do anything, I am running Mixed Ments with Earthquake, Fire Blast, Draco Meteor, and Thunderfang. Thunderfang is specifically for this Pokemon. With Rocks Up, actually even without Rocks Up, if Azumarill switches in on an Earthquake, even if it's some weird set with like an extra defense or anything like that, Earthquake is going to do about 45 to 50%, and Thunderfang is going to do about 60 plus. So it's a guaranteed one-hit KO. Or two-hit KO on Azumarill, and it can't really do anything after that. And if that's their like Dragon check, it puts me at a huge advantage. Obviously, a lot of people run Zutran, but that doesn't really matter, obviously, since Salamence is also running Earthquake and can just straight up one-hit KO Heatran. That's the other thing. If Mence gets in on a Heatran, and one of the things they might do is switch out to Azumarill to try and take the EQ and force me out, but not going to happen. It's actually been working out really well for me. Mence has been a really good Pokemon for me. It's very uncommon. I think I've run into one other Mence the entire time I've played. Gengar is sub Will-O-Wisp Double Stab. Again, it's been actually working out really, really well for me. It works really well against the super defensive teams, the stall teams with like Venu, like Chansey Venu, Mega Venu, or Chansey Mega what's it called? Mega Slowbro. Mega Slowbro is actually not a very big threat to my team because I have both Pharaoh and Gengar. The most common set I've been running into a lot is the the old school, not the old school, but I guess you'd call it the Crowbro or the new school Toby-Bro. And while it's trying to set up, I can just throw out Leech Seed with Ferrothorn because it scalds even, until it gets to +6, its scalds aren't going to be doing too much to Ferrothorn. And with Protect and Leech Seed, I can just sort of heal as much as I want, and then on the turns where it goes for rest, I can just throw out Gengar, set up a substitute. Fun fact: max HP. I don't even think it has to be max HP, but I think Leech Seed plus the recovery from Black Sludge on Gengar against Mega Slowbro does 25%. So I can literally just sub-stall it forever. And then, eventually I'm going to get a free sub up and start spamming Shadow Balls. Especially if it doesn't Sleep Talk onto Scald. And while I can't crit it, I can get the minus special defense. And even, I'm not kidding you, I've been in against a +6/+6 Mega Slowbro, and my opponent was like, GG, bro. And I'm like, no. And I just stalled it out, and eventually, I got one minus special defense. That was all I needed. And at that point, he either had to make the choice of, do I Calm Mind again and hope that, I don't get murked by Shadow Ball, or do I rest and then hope I don't get murked by Shadow Ball? Well, fun fact, it didn't matter what he went for at that point. His best bet would have actually just been to Scald to take down my substitute, but even at +5, Shadow Ball does 35-40% against Mega Slowbro, which means with the added damage from Leech Seed, I can just 2-hit KO it basically. So yeah, Mega Slowbro is not a huge deal. Chansey, obviously, he's not going to do anything to Gengar. The average Chansey is, Wish, Seismic Toss, Heal Bell, and Toxic. Again, can't actually touch Gengar. Gengar can't do much to it either, but it can stall it. I can just throw out Will-O-Wisps and Sludge Bombs, and it really can't do anything. Same thing with Mega Venu. Mega Venu can't break my subs. I can just throw out a Will-O-Wisp and basically cripple it, and then just sort of stall it. It's actually been a really, really surprisingly good wall breaker, or surprisingly good stall breaker, I should say. But yeah, that's my whole team. Sorry this vid ended up going a lot longer than I expected it to. I kind of went over my team way more than I expected to. For those who are wondering, yeah, it's obviously that standard Vest Azu as well. And then I'm running, on Ferrothorn, I'm running Leech Seed, Protect, Gyro Ball, Stealth Rocks. Obviously really common, really, really obvious set. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, sorry I haven't really uploaded too much Pokemon. If you want to watch more Pokemon, I stream it a lot. Usually at towards the end of my streams, when I'm done doing whatever I want to do, I just throw on Pokemon, play it for about an hour or so. If you want to watch, feel free to check me out. I'll put a link to my Twitch in the description. If you guys can follow me on Twitch. I stream a lot. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. This has been Pink Reaper signing out.